Hello friends, hope everyone's doing well out there this evening, or if you're in the UK this morning. Wanted to run through a Retropie install. I know we've done a couple of Hyperspin videos already, but I wanted to, I know, everybody's thinking, man, there sure is a lot of Hyperspin on here and no one's talking about, Retropie, and their group's called that. So I wanted to kind of throw this out there right now that we're going to try to do both of them. More of my expertise, just real quick, is more on Hyperspin than it is Retropie. So, if other guys decide to chime in, review the video, look at it, see if I missed anything, feel free to give your input, etc. It's not going to offend me. Again, I started just working with this not long ago. I've done a couple of them, but, anyways, let's move on here. The first thing we want to do, guys, is we've got a couple of different pieces here in order to get this install to happen. I don't have an SD card here, but I'm going to show you some of the pieces here that you're going to need in place in order to get this going for you. The first piece is, just disregard these last two. These are actually iPack 2 configurations, utilities that I was using for some Hyperspin, some other stuff. Anyways, we'll start with the Windows 32. You can download this, go on Google, do a search for it, bring it down. You'll have this one. The SD formatter is going to be used to format the SD card itself. This image you'll be pulling down from the site that I have open. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get to that portion of it. So we'll hit download. The very bottom, I've got a Pi 3 that I've got set in place, so I'm using a Pi 3, but depending on what you get a Pi 1, then you would use this. Select that. I'm not going to pull it down because I'm going to use the one that I have in place just for the sake of doing this presentation. And if you don't have like a WinRAR, this 7-zip is actually pretty decent. You can use that to unzip this for your installs. Anyways, these have already been extracted. I've got them installed. The two pieces here that we're looking at are going to be the SD formatter. I'll launch this real fast, kind of give you a breakdown of it. Nothing's picking up here as I don't have the SD cards in place. Again, once I get it in place, I'll plug it into the reader. The drive will pick up. It'll show me the size, and then I'll have the option to do the quick format on it. Once the quick format is done, then you're basically prepped the card itself for the full size in order, to be ready to drop the image itself. So then at that point, again, you'll have to install these two on your computer, the SD formatter and the Windows 32. I apologize for the Vista here, but this is a good little machine that I use to do these videos. Anyways, I will point to the image here only because I have it in place. So let me go to the Retropie ROMs. We'll do the Pi install. Here's my image, but again, you'll be pulling it down. You won't have this one. Yours may say 4.12, I believe, is the new one. So I'll say open here for this install. Again, I don't have the SD card in it, but once I have my SD card in my reader, then this device will be ready, and then I can copy it. So once I have that, it'll just be a matter of writing it. Excuse me, not copy. I'll write it. So that being said, I know there's questions about too, and I've seen people asking, well, how do we copy this back up if we want to copy it to a hard drive, etc. You would basically, if you had an image that you wanted, that you like, you've configured it, you've set everything up like you want it, you've dropped all your ROMs for the different systems, etc. Then you want to make a backup of it. Again, I'm not promoting copying anything. I'm saying if you're going to back it up, then you would use the read option to back up that image to your hard drive, and then you'll have a backup of it. Again, I'm using the word backup here. This is about it. I'm not gonna make I wasn't gonna go really long into this video. It's gonna be probably about 5 minutes, but it kind of give you an idea, kind of the basic concepts of what you're actually doing here once you have the kit in place. Again, we'll figure out how to do the other portion of it once my card comes in, and then if you guys want to see exactly the Pi itself, we'll figure that out on how we're going to do that. But anyways, I did want to talk about one more thing. When you originally boot up the Pi, once the image is in, then you have a couple of different options to start copying your data over, your ROMs, etc. One of the things that people do is they'll take an external, like a thumb drive, USB drive, they'll plug it into the Pi. You know, it'll run through its little blinking lights, static lights, run through the blinking lights, pull it out, put it back in the computer, and then at that point, it'll come up and they'll be able to see kind of the directory structure. So then what you do is you take whatever ROMs that you have on your physical hard drive and you copy it to the thumb drive. Take the thumb drive, you know, sneakernet style again, plug it back into the Pi, copies back to the SD card, you're done. The preferred method is using like an FTP to access the Pi itself, the SD card. So you have a couple of different options. I use Explorer, which you could do here. You know, you would just, you know, bring it up, and I think it's like Retropie is what it would be. Retropie access. It's not going to come up here because I don't have it on the network. But once you hit that, then you'll be able to see all the different systems or cores, I guess if you want to call that. Hope I'm using that term right. So it's just people use different terminology for different systems or whatever. But you'll see ROM directories per those. Then you could drop your ROMs there. Again, we'll go into a little more of that once we have it set up. But I wanted to kind of run through this portion of it, and that would be the ideal method in case you have it set up into a bar top or cabinet somewhere, and you have wireless enabled, and then you could access it that way instead of having to physically run around with a thumb drive. Anyways, we won't go into anything else other than this is the intro of what we're doing for the Retropie portion of it. Again, I apologize for not doing a Retropie or going in this direction on a Retropie, because again, you know, I have done a lot of Hyperspin stuff, and most of the stuff that I've done has been in Hyperspin, so I feel like I'm a little more comfortable with that. But you know, again, I know we have a lot of pros on the group that may or may not watch this video. You know, if they watch it, great. You know, if you don't, then I understand why you don't, because it's, you know, you're above and beyond this already. But anyways, this is really catering to the people that are just now getting into it. You know, this is all kind of, you'll take your small steps to get there eventually, and then you'll get there. And I've seen that already on our group for the you know, for the Hyperspin people. I won't mention names, but they've gone into, you know, doing some of the things we're doing, and then working their way into it and figuring it out. And a lot of it is, you know, these obstacles that you're going to hit. How do you overcome them? How do you figure it out? And most people on here are going to be willing to help, you know, that are on the group, and don't feel like, hey, this is a silly question, I don't want to ask it, because that's the difference too, that I kind of wanted to be more about new users of this, you know, in this group, more than people that already know what they're doing, you know, and hopefully be able to help. And again, like that motto that we're trying to use to bring everyone up, so everyone kind of understands and that wants to do this can go out there and try it out. Anyways, I'm done on the soapbox. I'm getting down. This is basically the intro to it. We'll go into a little bit more on copying information on the next video, hopefully. And like I said, I'll apologize for not doing one of these videos before. But we're going to do the Retropie now. Hope everybody has a great evening. And again, you know, I appreciate everybody that is in the group and that is interacting and helping people out. And all the pros that we have is pretty awesome to have them be a part of this group. Anyways, hope everyone has a good evening or good morning if you're in the UK. Cheers.